Be looking at COSF forms. We'll start with the entry form. To get that populated on your Enrich screen, you're going to go to Add Action, check your Child Outcome Summary, click the Next button, and your form will generate. I definitely suggest doing this at the student's initial IEP meeting or at their 30-day transfer meeting at your school. The start date will be the day that you're completing the form, and we'll start with that entry form. And the entry date is the day the student either qualifies for special education services or starts at your school. For our example today, we'll put today's date. The student will say is an initial placement. So now we have to consider how the student's positive social emotional skills, including social relationships, are working at present, and we're looking at how this student relates with adults, with other children, follows rules related to groups, or interacting with others if they're older than 18 months. And we have to decide, and this is a team decision at your team meeting, to what extent does this child show age-appropriated functioning across a variety of settings and situations? And you can see I've got 7 choices. Fortunately, on our Erskine website, we do have a decision tree to help with this. So for each question, you can go through and ask, did the child ever function age appropriate? If you're saying no, you move over here to the left. If you're saying yes, over here to the right. And go through and answer that series of questions with your team, and you will arrive at a rating. Once you've done that, if this is a between, somewhat, and emerging, because there are some age-appropriate skills, but they're rarely used, and more of the behavior is not appropriate, I've got my 4, and here I include my supporting evidence. And that supporting evidence is going to be observations in the classroom, data that you have gathered. It can be input from parents and therapists as well. Include all of that here. And then move on to the second question, which is acquiring and using knowledge and skills. And this is thinking, reasoning, remembering, problem solving, understanding symbols, understanding the physical and social worlds. And we're looking to see whether this child is functioning at the same level as same-aged peers. And again, we can come back to our decision tree and do the same thing. Ask the team members these questions, move through the tree, and arrive at your rating. Click the box to fill that in. And then include supporting evidence. And this is going to be assessments, progress monitoring. All of those things can go here from parents, therapists, case managers. All of that is relevant information. Next, taking appropriate action to meet needs. And here are the things that we're examining. Showing hunger, dressing, feeding, toileting, so some basic care, contributing to the own self safety and health, so things like hand washing, following rules to avoid injury, not eating things that are not meant to be eaten, if that's age appropriate, and getting from place to place, so that's all of your mobility, using tools, those are fine motor skills. Again, back to this decision tree, I cannot tell you how helpful this is in guiding a discussion with a group. Enter your rating and then your evidence. This is what the child does well, where the team still has concerns. Now I indicate where did I receive this. Again, it's my opinion that it's easiest done coupled with a meeting so that you can check that received in team meeting. It's going to be information you collect separately because it's going to be based on some of your classroom observations, also incorporated into assessments, or not included. So check all those as they apply, include any additional notes or comments from the team, and then list your team members. The parent will automatically populate for you if that's entered correctly in PowerSchool, and then you'll enter your team members from your school. Anybody else can be added. And the end date is, we can note that we completed the entry. It'll populate for us. Next, we'll want to make sure that we get this signed if it's part of a team meeting, so you can click on your child outcomes summary in the documents. And all of those team members that I added will populate here so that I can have a signature page. Once you finish that, upload it here and click the Finalize button at the bottom of your screen.